Ever heard the one about the student who considered dropping out and becoming a circus performer during finals week? Well, that's a story for another time. Right now, let's talk about something we've all faced at some point: the studying struggle. Yes, those times when textbooks seem like gibberish, and a 5-minute break turns into a 2-hour YouTube marathon. We get it, studying can be a real challenge. But what if I told you that there's a way to make it less of a struggle? That's right, we're talking about effective study habits. These are the tools that can turn your academic life around, transforming those seemingly indecipherable textbooks into a well of knowledge just waiting to be tapped. They can be the difference between a passing grade and a top-of-the-class triumph. But don't worry, we're not suggesting you join the circus just yet. Let's dive into some study tips that may save your academic life. You wouldn't go into battle without a strategy, would you? Well, consider your exams your battlefield. But don't worry, this doesn't mean you'll need to don a suit of armor or wield a sword. Instead, you'll arm yourself with something even more powerful: a plan of attack. You see, the most successful students don't just sit down and start studying willy-nilly. They have a strategy. They have a plan. They know what they need to study, when they need to study it, and how they're going to go about it. It's like having a map that guides you through the vast terrain of knowledge. Without a plan, you're just wandering aimlessly, and you might not reach your destination on time. Or worse, you might get lost. So how do you create this magical plan of attack? It's all about breaking down your tasks into manageable chunks. Think of it like eating a pizza. You wouldn't just shove the whole thing into your mouth at once, would you? Of course not. You'd slice it up and eat it piece by piece. The same goes for studying. Don't try to cram everything in at once. Break your subjects down into topics, and those topics down into subtopics. Then tackle each piece one at a time. Next, you need to prioritize. Not all subjects are created equal. Some will require more of your time and energy than others. Figure out which ones are most important, which ones you struggle with the most, and focus your efforts there. Lastly, set realistic study goals. These are not pie-in-the-sky dreams, but achievable targets that you can hit with hard work and dedication. And remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. Remember, a good student doesn't just study hard, they study smart. So equip yourself with a solid plan of attack and conquer your exams like a true warrior. Ever tried to read your own handwriting after a long lecture and thought, "What alien language is this?" Well, it's time to decode the enigma that is note-taking. The secret to effective note-taking is not in writing down every word, but in capturing the essence of the information. Think of it as distilling a whole field of sunflowers into a single bottle of sunflower oil. First up, we have summaries. These are your best friends when it comes to compressing information. Instead of writing down everything your professor says, jot down the key points. What's the main idea? What are the supporting arguments? This forces you to engage with the material, ensuring that you understand it instead of mindlessly transcribing it. Next, let's talk bullet points. They're like the breadcrumbs in the forest of knowledge, leading you from one point to the next. Bullet points simplify complex ideas into digestible bites, making it easier for you to review and recall. Now, onto mind maps. Imagine a spider web, with one central idea in the middle, and threads branching out into related topics. This is a mind map. It's a visual way to organize information, making connections between ideas more apparent. Plus, it's a great way to unleash your creativity. Who said studying can't be fun? Lastly, we have highlighters. But beware, these are not magic wands that automatically make information stick. Use them strategically. Highlight key phrases or concepts, but remember, the goal is to highlight the important bits, not turn your page into a rainbow. So, there you have it. The art of note-taking, demystified. It's not about writing faster, but writing smarter. Remember, the purpose of notes is to serve as a tool for revision, not a transcript of your lectures. With these note-taking strategies, your notes will be less like hieroglyphics and more like a bestseller. You know what they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. This old adage holds true, especially when it comes to studying. We have been conditioned to think that the longer we study, the more we will learn. But that's not necessarily true. In fact, taking regular breaks during study sessions can actually boost your productivity and focus. Let's break down why breaks are so important. When you study for long hours without a break, your brain starts to hit a wall. You may notice that you're reading the same sentence over and over, or you can't seem to remember what you just read. This is your brain telling you it needs a break. Think of your brain like a muscle. Just like your legs need rest after a long run, your brain also needs time to recharge after intense studying. Breaks provide this much-needed rest, allowing your brain to process and consolidate the information you've learned. Now you might be wondering, how often should I take breaks? This is where the Pomodoro technique comes in. Developed by Francesco Cirillo in the late 80s, this time management method suggests studying for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break. After completing 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique is beneficial as it helps maintain your focus and prevents burnout. But remember, the effectiveness of your breaks also depends on what you do during them. Avoid scrolling through social media or watching TV, as these activities don't give your brain the rest it needs. Instead, get up and move around, grab a snack, or even meditate. These activities can help refresh your mind and prepare it for the next study session. You see, breaks are not a wasted time. They're an integral part of the learning process, helping you to absorb and retain information more effectively. So next time you're planning a study session, don't forget to schedule in some breaks. So remember, breaks are not a sign of laziness. They're a secret weapon in your study arsenal. Scene script. Ever pulled an all-nighter and felt like a zombie the next day? Yeah, we've all been there. Sleep, my friends, is not the enemy of productivity. It's the unsung hero. It's the magical realm where your brain gets busy, consolidating all those facts and figures you've been feeding it all day. Picture this. You're studying for a big test, cramming facts and figures into your brain. You're focused, you're determined, you're exhausted. But you push on because you believe that sleep is a luxury you just can't afford right now. Sounds familiar? Yeah, we've all been there too. But here's the twist. While you're fast asleep, your brain is actually working like a diligent librarian, sorting and storing all the information you've learned during the day. This process, known as memory consolidation, is crucial for learning and retaining information. And guess what? It primarily happens during sleep. So, when you sacrifice sleep for more study time, you're effectively sabotaging your own learning process. It's like trying to build a castle on sand. No matter how high you stack the blocks without a solid foundation, it's all just going to come crashing down. Now let's debunk some myths. All-nighters and cramming might seem like the ultimate demonstration of dedication, but in reality, these are counterproductive. Research has shown that students who get adequate sleep perform better academically than those who burn the midnight oil. Moreover, sleep deprivation can lead to decreased concentration, poor memory, and low mood. Essentially, you're trading a few extra hours of hazy, ineffective study time for a whole day of being a less efficient learner. So the next time you're tempted to pull an all-nighter, remember this. Sleep is not just for the weak or lazy. It's a powerful, essential tool for successful learning. It's the secret weapon that can help you ace that test, master that skill, conquer that challenge. So forget the all-nighters. Sleeping might just be the most productive thing you do all day. So you've got your plan, your notes, your breaks, and your sleep schedule. What's next? Well, let's take a swift jog down memory lane. We've plotted our path to academic success with a well-crafted plan. We've learned the art of note-taking, transforming dull textbooks into a vibrant tapestry of knowledge. We've unlocked the power of breaks because even the most dedicated of brains need a breather, right? And let's not forget the magic of sleep, the unsung hero of cognitive restoration. Remember, it's not about cramming everything in one go. It's about understanding, retaining, and most importantly, enjoying the process. These aren't just study tips, they're life skills. They're your tools to tackle not just textbooks, but any challenge that comes your way. So let's approach our studies with the same enthusiasm we'd approach a plate of our favorite food. After all, knowledge is a feast, isn't it? And there you have it, the secret recipe to becoming a study superstar. Now go conquer those textbooks.